Right now, you feel like you're moving forward. 1 second becomes the next. This moment becomes the past. You're reading this sentence, and then you'll read the next one. And somewhere behind you, a version of this moment is already gone forever. That's how time feels, like a river, like a current pulling you from birth toward death. One direction, no stopping, no going back. Physics says that feeling might be a lie. Not a small lie, not a rounding error. One of the most respected physicists of the 20th century once said the separation between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. He wasn't speculating. He was doing the math, and the math has never told him he was wrong.
Here's where it gets uncomfortable. In Einstein's theory of relativity, time isn't one universal thing happening at the same rate everywhere. It bends. It stretches. Someone moving fast enough or standing close enough to a massive gravitational field experiences time differently than someone standing still. Not metaphorically. Literally. Astronauts on the International Space Station age a fraction of a second slower than people on Earth because they're moving at extreme speed relative to the ground. It's measurable. It's been measured, repeatedly, with atomic clocks precise enough to catch the difference. So whose time is the real one? Yours? Or the astronauts? Neither. Both. That's the part that breaks something in your brain the first time you really sit with it. There isn't a single master clock ticking away somewhere in the universe that everyone else's is compared against. Time is relative to the observer, which means the version of now you're experiencing this second isn't the same now as someone on a different planet, moving at a different speed, sitting in a different gravitational field. Somewhere out there, someone's present moment is your past. Someone else's present moment hasn't happened for you yet. This idea has a name. Physicists call it the block universe theory, and it suggests something genuinely strange, that past, present, and future all exist permanently, all at once, the way every page of a book exists at once, even though you're only reading one page right now. Your birth hasn't disappeared just because you're not there anymore. In this model, it still exists, fixed in the block, the same way this sentence still exists on the page after your eyes move past it. If that's true, you're not moving through time. You're just reading it, page by page, convinced that turning the page is the same thing as the story changing, when really, the whole book was already written. Feels wrong, doesn't it? It should. Every instinct you have says the future is open, undecided, waiting to be shaped by what you choose to do next. But here's the unsettling part. Nothing in the equations of physics actually requires time to flow at all. The forward motion you feel isn't found anywhere in the math. It's not in Einstein's equations. It's not in Newton's either. Every fundamental law of physics we've discovered works exactly the same whether you run it forward or backward. Drop a glass, and it shatters. Run the physics backward, and the shards should be able to reassemble themselves into a glass just as easily, according to the equations. But you've never seen that happen. Not once. Why? The answer might not be about time at all. It might be about entropy, the tendency for organized things to become disorganized. A shattered glass has more possible disordered arrangements than whole ones, so statistically, shattering is just far more likely than reassembling. Some physicists now believe the entire feeling of time moving forward is nothing more than the universe drifting from order into disorder, and our brains interpreting that drift as a story with a beginning, middle, and end. In other words, the arrow of time might not be a law of physics. It might be a side effect of probability.
So then what are you exactly, if you're not moving through time in the way it feels like you are? Some physicists suggest your brain is the real source of the illusion. Your mind constructs a continuous narrative out of disconnected moments, the same way a film projector creates the illusion of motion from a series of still frames. Slow that projector down enough and you'd see it for what it actually is. A sequence of separate, frozen instants, each one complete on its own, stitched together only by memory. Memory is the trick. Without it, there would be no sense of before. Every instant would simply be its own isolated present, disconnected from the one that came before it. The flow of time might not exist out in the universe at all. It might exist only inside the machinery of a mind capable of remembering. Which means the you reading this sentence and the you who read the first sentence of this video might, in a strange sense, already be two different frozen moments in a block that never actually moves, connected only by the thread of memory, convincing you they're the same continuous person, flowing forward together. Does that change anything about how you live? Maybe not. You'll still wake up tomorrow feeling like time is pulling you forward, because that feeling is built into the wiring of how a conscious mind experiences reality. No physics paper is going to override that. But maybe, once in a while, when you catch yourself rushing through a moment to get to the next one, it's worth remembering that some of the most rigorous minds in physics aren't convinced there's a next one to get to at all. Maybe there's only this one. Fixed, permanent, already written into the block, whether you rush through it or not. So slow down. Not because time is running out, but because, according to some of the smartest people who ever studied it, it might never have been running at all.